All right. Welcome to Yin this evening. I just have a blanket and then I have a bolster off to the side that we may end up using today. So just sit yourself on a nice blanket to give yourself a little bit of lift. And we're going to just start seated. So take a few moments just to close your eyes and check in today. It's always good to check in with our posture. Shoulders over the hips, ears over the shoulders. I'm going to begin with a little grounding today. So one hand on the center of the chest, one hand at the navel. And just see if you can feel your breath underneath both those hands. So when we begin most classes, we're going to chant the sound of Om. And you can repeat the intention after me. And we'll set a few more moments in silence before we begin some poses today. So relaxing the jaw. Let's inhale together. May I be free from fear and harm. May I be content as I am. May I be at peace with whatever comes. Maybe bowing your head and just taking a moment and setting your own intention for your practice today. Maybe you want to leave your hands there if they feel good, or you can release them into your lap. And let's just for a few moments here begin to notice our breath. So we close our mouth in yoga and we breathe in and out through our nose if you can comfortably. We want to pull the energy down from the upper lungs and pull it all the way down into lower lungs, lower diaphragmatic breath. So the energy is lower body, pulling it down, grounding us in our yin practice. So see if you can energetically move the energy away from the face, the jaw, the shoulders, even the heart space, and bring it down into the lower body. Maybe energetically you can see it, visualize it, as well as feel it. Just take a few moments. Take a nice long exhalation. Bring our hands to our knees if you haven't already. And before we begin our poses, let's just warm up just a little bit by making some circles with this upper body. We're going to start with a forward fold in a few moments, so I just want to make sure your back is comfortable. Next time you come to the center, just do a little forward and back movement. So inhaling chest forward, and then exhaling, drawing everything in, slowly rounding. A couple of times. All right. Coming back to the center, go ahead and stay on your blanket. We're going to start with a nice forward fold today. So let's bring the soles of the feet together. So it's butterfly pose and we're walking the feet a little bit forward so we have some space. You can place blocks or blankets underneath the knees if you like. You can also place a bolster here on your body if you want to fold onto the bolster instead. I'll show you if you'd like to do it this way. You're welcome to as well. So wherever you are, just take a nice deep breath in and just start to fold forward. Letting your hips walk back and your torso come forward. Just let your arms relax, shoulders relax. And if your head comes down to the bolster, go ahead and let your forehead touch the bolster, or you can prop yourself up. Let your forehead rest on your hands. If you can make it all the way down to the earth, you don't need any props, that's fine too. So remember, this first part of our yin pose is just getting comfortable. Maybe finding a little bit of discomfort in our pose today. We have a little bit of a challenge. Once we found that, make the pose nice and still. And check in with your breath. Let the breath be a little bit deeper, maybe a longer exhalation to kind of soften a little bit into your pose. And as we continue to rest in this pose, no judgment, just let yourself be comfortable with wherever you are in the pose today. It doesn't have to look like any perfect yoga journal pose. It's just where you are today is where you need to be. Start to take a nice deep breath in and slowly come on up. Be mindful as you release the legs, stretch them out in front of you. Maybe you need a little bit of rotation of the ankles, opening up through the hips. All right, so I'm staying seated on the blanket. Let's take that right leg over. Now, if you're not comfortable taking the leg over, you can bring it right alongside the knee. Either one is fine. Now, if you think you can go further and you know you're going to be comfortable bringing this other foot in, you can really go that far. Just make sure the hips stay stable and you're not leaning to one side. So any of those options. So take a couple of nice deep breaths, getting really tall. I'm going to leave my left hand on the knee, drawing it towards me a little bit as I twist. Then I'm going to open the right arm and start to twist to the side. So feel that twist in the waist and in the upper back and the shoulder as you bring the hand to the earth behind you. Putting fingertips into the earth behind me, really grounding, really opening that shoulder. Twisting a little bit more in the waist. Can you soften the shoulders a tad? Let's keep the head and neck neutral, so we don't need to look behind us in this pose. We can just keep the chin tucked or gazing straight ahead. Wherever you are in this pose, just start to take a few more breaths and get comfortable in it, adjusting however you need. And you soften your jaw and your eyes, your face. Nice, beautiful inhale. And start to unwind. Take a moment, stretch both legs out. Great. Let's take that left foot over. Again, you have a couple options. It can be here, it can be over, or you can tuck that bottom foot into and make it a little easier if you'd like. So I'm getting a different arm position. If this right arm can kind of wrap around, or if you can take the elbow on the inside, that brings my shoulder too high. So I'm just gonna wrap the arm around. Left hand comes behind, and just take a few moments to breathe and find your space. And if this is too much for your arm, you can just bring your hand onto the knee. Continue like you were in your last pose. And take both sit bones, feel them grounding into the earth. Nice, deep breaths. Just let go into this twist right at that waist. Feel all that beautiful movement today. Nice big inhale. And then exhale, start to unwind. Notice how you feel in the body as you stretch those legs out in front. Good. If you'd like a bolster on top of your thighs, we're just going to do a forward fold right here. So we're going to work on the back of the legs, so the hamstrings. Okay. You may not even need a bolster if you're feeling like you just want to stretch without support underneath you. I'm just going to let my arms relax. Walk my hips back a little bit. Let my chin tuck in towards my chest. And just start to fold forward. Feeling the backs of the legs, maybe even low back. Try to let gravity assist you here, just like you did in that first pose, and just be mindful. Create a soft, relaxing breath. Sometimes this pose can be challenging because of its intensity in the back of our body. So maybe visualizing this energy starting from the base of the big toe, all the way to the bottom of the foot, to the back of the heel, up the back of the legs. Feel that big muscle as you feel the energy move into the butt. And then the energy meets at the low back as it travels up the spine. All the way to the back of the neck, working its way all the way across the crown, through the third eye, back to your nose, down through your chin. You can visualize it moving in that trajectory, maybe with a little bit longer breath as you go this next time. If you can stay with this pose a little bit longer, watching your breath, listening to your breath, softening the jaw maybe. Forgive my my sneezing today, everybody. Nice deep breath in. Come on up. We want to go ahead and just gently release that blanket that's underneath you. You can put it underneath your head if you would like for a little pillow. Excuse me. We're going to come onto our back, so take just a few moments and let's work our way onto our back. So make yourself comfortable here. If you'd like a blanket over you, you're always welcome, of course, to keep yourself nice and warm. We're going to start with pigeon. So if you've done it before, you can take the right foot and we'll place it on top of that left thigh. Now, some of you just may want to stay here, feeling that little bit of opening here. If you want to go further, let's take our hands through, draw our left leg towards us, soften the legs, soften the feet. As you draw that leg towards you, sink into the low back. And let's try not to lean to the right, but I want you to kind of find your center. So that you're feeling a nice deep stretch maybe in that right outer hip and in that big muscle of the butt that we were talking about earlier. For some of you that this is a real easy pose, you can take your hands to the top of that left knee, draw yourself in just a little bit. Maybe even want to do a little pressure and pushing this right leg away from you. So you've got some options here. So you get that stretch right there in that right outer hip that we're talking about. Beautiful. Let's relax here. Find that nice full breath. That was a nice long pose. Let's just unwind the arms. I want you to keep the legs in the same position. And just let this left foot come to the mat. Take the arms in a cactus pose. If that's not comfortable for your shoulders, you're welcome to stretch the arms out to the sides. And from here, we're just going to let the knees drop to the right. So my foot is still on top of that left thigh. Now, we're only going to go so far, and we're going to feel that left hip begin to stretch, inner groin and outer hip. So if the shoulder comes off the mat, I want you to keep that left shoulder down as much as you can. The right foot is acting as a little weight on the thigh to really stretch and waken this whole left side of the body. Good. Can you feel that beautiful energy moving through this left side of the body? Twists are really good for spring, right? So let's just breathe into the whole side and release all of that stuff that we no longer need. Maybe too much rich foods or chocolate and how we kind of sat through in the winter and maybe ate too much bread or whatever it is. Let's just release that from gallbladder. Let it go. Revitalize the liver. Go ahead and release the arms and take a nice soft breath as you release the legs, bringing the feet back to the mat. Just take a moment onto your back and feel the back into the earth after that twist. So we're going to do pigeon on the other side. So let's take the left foot onto the right thigh. Just be mindful, because how you did the pose last time, maybe now this side is going to be different. So let's try to draw the right leg towards us. See how stiff that left hip is. If we can need to stay here, or if we can grab onto the top of the knee for a little bit more. And then just check in. Are you leaning a little bit to the left? Let's come right back to center. It increases the stretch in the left outer hip. But that's what we want. Good. If I forgot to mention it, I like the shoulders relaxed. So I don't have a strap today, but you can use a strap instead of your hands so that your shoulders and neck and head stay completely relaxed in this pose. And let's settle in and breathe. And so slowly let the arms release. Bring that right foot to the mat. I'm going to let my knees gently fall to the left. So you're feeling the stretch on this right side now, as much as you wish. And you can take the arms out to the sides, or if you want to go back to this cactus arms, if this feels good for your shoulders. So really good full breaths. Maybe feeling the knee, that right knee reaching towards the corner of your mat. So it stretches this whole inner groin, right thigh. And now feel this whole right side of the body, this energy that's moving here. Big breaths. Very carefully, slowly release, bringing yourself back to the center for a few breaths. I'm going to do one last pose before Shavasana today. So let's gently roll to your sides. You can grab your blanket. And we're going to roll it up nice and tight here. So the thicker your blanket is, the better it will be. But mine's a pretty thin blanket today, so I'm going to have a little thin roll. And those of you who have been in my class before know exactly what's coming. So I'm going to place this right underneath my shoulder blades, okay? And today I'm not going to do Baddha Konasana because we did it earlier in the class. Today I'm just going to stretch my legs out. This is right underneath the shoulder blades. And this means if you have a really thick blanket, you want to make sure your shoulders are on the mat. You can put a blanket underneath your head if you need to, but if you can let your throat open a little bit and away from the chest, that's great. So I'm going to open my legs and my arms wide and let this little blanket that I have underneath me just lift the chest slightly for this last pose. So it's a very tiny little back bend. So close your eyes, let your feet relax, your legs relax. Make sure our palms are turned up towards the ceiling. And this time I want you to visualize this beautiful energy moving up and just expanding the chest, the heart center, just expanding on each breath, out, up, and maybe down through the shoulders, hands, and fingers. And you can visualize that energy today. Taking a nice couple of deep breaths. Spent the last moments being really expansive in your breath and your movement. So I invite you this time to just roll to your side. Take that blanket off, and maybe as you come back onto your back, pulling that blanket over you, just kind of drawing all that energy in now. Maybe wrapping your legs and your arms underneath the blanket. Just drawing that energy in, containing it. And we're really expansive, and now let's contain it. Let's bring it in. And as we lie on our backs for these final moments of our practice today, let's first just feel our breath, the expansive movement that we just created, the energy that we've been working with. How does your body feel with this pose, these poses today? Slowly bringing your awareness back into the space today. Just observing with gratitude your practice, your body, your breath. If you're comfortable where you are, just stay there for now, or you're welcome to roll onto your side for a bit. The poem today is one of my favorites, and it's a little long, so bear with me as you rest in these final moments of practice. This poem is called Pray for Peace. Pray to whomever you kneel down to, Jesus nailed to his wooden or plastic cross, his suffering face bent to kiss you. Buddha still under the Bodhi tree. Raise your arms to Mary, that she may lay her palm on our brows. Then pray to the bus driver who takes you to work. On the bus, pray for everyone riding the bus, for everyone riding buses all over the world. Drop some silver and pray. Waiting in line for the movies, for the ATM, for your latte and croissant, offer your plea. Make your eating and drinking a supplication. Make your slicing of carrots a holy act, each translucent layer of onion a deeper prayer. To hawk or wolf or the great whale, pray. Bow down to terriers and shepherds and Siamese cats. Bow down to fields of artichokes and elegant strawberries. Make the brushing of your hair a prayer, every strand its own voice, singing in the choir on your head. As you wash your face, the water slipping through your fingers a prayer. Water is the softest thing on earth, gentleness that wears rock away. Making love, of course, is already a prayer. Skin, open mouths, the fragile cases we are poured into, a prayer. If you are hungry, pray. If you're tired, pray. Pray to Gandhi, Dorothy Day, Shakespeare, Sappho. When you walk to your car, to the mailbox, to the video store, let each step be a prayer that we all keep our legs, that we do not blow off anyone else's legs or crush their skulls. And if you are riding on a bicycle or a skateboard or in a wheelchair, each revolution of the wheels, a prayer as the earth revolves. Less harm, less harm. As you work, typing with a new manicure, a tiny palm tree painted on one pearlescent nail, or delivering a soda or drawing blood, twirling pizzas, whatever you do, make it a prayer. With each breath in, take in the faith of those who have believed when belief seemed foolish. Pull weeds for peace. Turn over in your sleep for peace. Feed the birds. Feed the earth. Wash your dishes. Call your mother. Drink wine for peace. Shovel leaves or snow or trash from your sidewalk. Make a path. Scoop your holy water from the gutter. Mumble along like a crazy person, stumbling your prayer through the streets. It's all a prayer. As we come together in these final moments of our practice, I invite you to bring your hands to your heart. And let's join our voices in the sound of Om today. Deep breath in. Namaste.